everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name's Amber and I'm coming at you today with a Q&A. So this is a university based Q&A. I've taken it from Phoebe Slay's video that she did like over a year ago. I watched it recently and I found it really interesting and I thought the questions she answered were really good, so I wanted to have a go at them myself. So yeah, let's just get cracking. So the first question was, do you ever feel pressured to choose what job you want to do? And the answer simply is yes. Obviously in A-levels you start to feel a bit of pressure where people start asking you what path you want to take, whether you want to do university, whether you want to do apprenticeships, and it can all get a bit much. And obviously at university, now that I'm on a very specific course, I'm doing events management, so there's not a lot of leeway, whereas like with maybe English literature or history or politics, you have a few more options of what you want to go into. Events management is quite specific. So I do feel a bit of pressure to choose what I want to do. I'm very lucky in the sense that I think I know what I want to do. It has changed already. I went into events management thinking I wanted to do fashion shows. Like doing London Fashion Week to me was like, oh, I dreamt of it. I dreamed of it and I dreamt of it literally. So that was like a really big thing for me, but since being at uni I have decided that I want to go into more corporate events, which is like conferences and meetings, which sounds dull, but that's the thing I kind of like about it. I like the fact that you have a lot of leeway to be creative and do things that no one else has ever done before and use your innovation and be creative. So the answer is yes, I do feel pressure, but I think everyone does. It's how you deal with that. Obviously it's going to change throughout time what you want to do. Maybe I'll go into corporate events and hate it. Another pressure I get is from, we have the option to do a gap year, like within like a year in industry, if that makes sense, for the third year, and then go back fourth year to do our third year. I hope that makes sense. So obviously choosing what part of the industry what you want to like have experience in for that year will dictate kind of what you go into in the long run. But I would say try not to get like down by the pressure. Take it on the chin, know that things change, people change, circumstances change, and kind of go with the flow. Do what makes you happy and you'll be happy. Okay, so next question is, did you find your closest friends were your flatmates, or you found them around uni and in your course? I can say definitely at the start my closest friends were my flatmates. I think it's just because they're the people that are around you most, and especially during Fresher Week, obviously you don't have lectures, so they're like your people really. And I made really good friends with one boy and one girl, and we were like the three musketeers. We did everything together, we had parties together, and then when university started and we were doing group presentations, I did events management and they both did law, but they were kind of like in separate parts of law, of their law degree. But we basically just drifted apart. I mean, we each made friends with our own friends, with our like people on our course. So I can say in the long run, the people on my course became my closest friends because obviously you do group work with them and you have exactly the same timetable, so you're free at the same time. And obviously you're studying something that you both want to learn about, so you already have a common interest. And I was really lucky in the two girls that I made friends with at university, Jada and Sarah. I think I will be some of my closest friends for ages, so I'm very excited about that. But yeah, definitely a bit of both, but you kind of just realise who your friends are along the way, and if people fall out, like just like lose contact with each other, that's fine, it's bound to happen. Okay, so next question is, what is your number one tip for moving day? I would say my number one tip is to talk to your flatmates. As scary as it is, if no one's talking to each other or if everyone's like in their own space, make the effort to go and say hello, and it would just make that following week a lot easier. You'll already feel like you have someone to talk to, that you're not so lonely. Another tip would be to contact home on your first day. Maybe if you're like, you think you're going to get really homesick if you contact home, don't. But I know everyone at home will be wondering how your first day has gone, so make sure you spare enough time to give them a call and let them know that you're having an amazing time and that you're really excited, and thank them for like driving you up or everything they've done to help you get to where you are. The next question is, how do you stay healthy at uni and what do you eat? So I was very lucky in the sense that one of my friends, Sarah, she had a gym in her building, which was like the more expensive accommodation. So she basically just let me into her building and use her gym whenever I wanted, which was fab because I didn't have to pay for a gym membership. But otherwise staying healthy, I did YouTube workouts in my room, which is a little embarrassing because obviously, you know, people underneath can hear you stomping, but you know, it's got to be done. Got to get that bum on point. As to what I ate, I did not eat well. I ate less, which I think helped me lose a bit of weight, but not well. I always made sure I had breakfast, like porridge or toast or something substantial. For lunch, I would always have a tin of beans every day, but I would snack. And if I bought a treat, like chocolate covered raisins or a bag of Haribo, you can best believe that I ate the whole share bag to myself within an hour. So I would definitely say be careful what you buy, because obviously if you buy it, it's there, and if it's there, you're gonna eat it. So towards the end of the year, I basically focused on buying fruit and veg. I always made sure I had frozen veg in the freezer for every meal. And I was also very strict on my portion control with dinner, because I usually ate my dinner at like 9, which I think you're not supposed to eat past 6 o'clock or something if you want to be healthy or something like that. So I always made sure that I had little portions because I was not about to do any exercise before bed. Obviously everyone's different, and if you're a health freak, you'll probably be fine. You just carry on the same habits that you had at home. But if you're like a bit more unhealthy, you like your snacks, you like your treats, and that works for you, why not do it, you know? Just as long as you're happy. I feel like everyone focuses so hard on like trying to look good all the time, and at the end of the day it's not really worth it. Like, if I want a chocolate bar, I'm gonna eat a chocolate bar. So my next question is, did you get a job at uni? Yes, I did. I had 3. Now, some people are like, oh my god, you're crazy to get a job in first year, but I think it's all circumstantial. So my course was basically, you're going to cry when I tell you this, it was 8 hours a week of lecture, and I had it across 4 days. So it meant Friday, Saturday, Sunday I was doing nothing, because I am one of those people who does my coursework as soon as they get it. So I would only work between like 9 AM and 6 PM. As soon as it got to 6, I don't know what happened, I couldn't study anymore. That was it, I was done. So it meant all my evenings I had free. And I had 3 jobs because they were all 0-hour contract, which worked amazingly for me because I was in a long distance relationship, and obviously I was going to go home at Christmas and everything. So it basically means you can go home whenever you want, work whenever you want, and like there's no arguments because you are allowed to dictate when you want to work. But it also means your like supervisor, your manager or whatever, isn't obliged to give you a shift. If they don't have any hours to give you, you're just not going to work that week. So I had 3. I had 2 were like catering agencies, so I'd work at events serving food, like table service, and then I work at the O2 at the bar, which is very loud but a lot of fun. Now I'm only working at the O2 in my second year because they have more stable hours. Like, they always need more people, there's always an event going on. It's a bigger name for me to put down on my CV, and it's super close to where I live. It's literally 8 minutes away, so that's fab. But yeah, I would definitely recommend getting a job in the first year if you have the time. Don't do anything that's going to stress you out even more. But yeah, I needed to, because I mean, my student loan didn't cover my accommodation, so I had to pay for a lot of it myself. Sorry, low battery, great. And what else? Oh yeah, my parents paid for my food, so I got £20 a month, and I had money from my dad each month as like child support. But it didn't give me a lot in terms of expenditure on like the tube and phone bill and all of those great things. All about me. So I did get a job, and it meant that I could pay for the coach home to see my family and my boyfriend, and it meant that I could go out and do fun things with my friends, and I didn't have to limit myself, and it gave me something to do in my spare time. The next question is, what is your favourite thing about university so far, and what are you looking forward to this year? So my favourite thing about university so far has definitely got to be the people and just the experience of being in London. I know that's not necessarily to do with my university, but it's just the university I chose, I guess. So I really love the people on my course. We're all very similar. We're all control freaks who want to set up an event that's going to be perfect. So we kind of take enjoyment in watching each other stress out. So it's a very select group of people, I guess. Not everyone enjoys that, but it's quite funny for us, so we get on really well. And London is just fab. I never thought I would be in a city university. I didn't want to. Like, I even looked at universities in Cornwall because I just didn't want to be part of like a big city. But I'm really lucky in the sense that Greenwich is southeast, so it's a bit further out. We're not in the heart of London with all the hustle and bustle, but I'm only a stone throw away from watching the Oxford lights, like Oxford Street Christmas lights get turned on, or watching the Remembrance Day parade. You know, I get to see all of those fun things, which are literally like 20 minutes away from me. As for the thing I'm looking forward to this year, in second year in an event management degree, you get to set up your own event with a group of people, which I am so looking forward to, because last year was all theory. We learnt how to do it, and this year we get to put it into practice, and I really hope that my event with my friends kicks ass. Basically, I'm so excited for it. I just, like, obviously I love events because that's what I'm doing. I'm spending like £9 a year on it, so I better love it. But there's something just so satisfying about planning an event, putting in all the hard work and the hours, and then watching other people enjoy it. Like, you've created something that other people are going to remember. It's a really nice feeling, so I'm definitely looking forward to that. Last question that was asked to Phoebe Slee, which I'm going to answer now, was how do you do long distance relationships? So I was in a long distance relationship the whole of last year. Me and my boyfriend Christian have been together for nearly 2 years. Oh, actually, by the time this goes up, it probably will have been 2 years. And I'm not gonna lie, it is hard. Obviously, our long distance relationship wasn't like a lot of people's. Some people have to travel thousands of miles. We were quite lucky in the sense that where I live to my university is about 100 miles. So it's a 2.5 hour coach drive or a 2 hour train drive, train ride. So yeah, we were quite lucky in the sense that we were still close, and that we live in an age where we have FaceTime and Skype and messaging and all that good stuff. But what I would say is keep in contact with each other. So we would message a few times a day. We don't really text that much anyway, like that's just how we work. We don't text that much, but we would Skype every night for at least like half an hour, just to catch up with each other, make sure each other were on the same page, because the thing that scared me the most was that we were going to grow up a lot, because he's at university as well, but he's like in his last year now. We were going to grow up, but we were going to grow like apart from each other as we were experiencing new things. So I wanted him to be in the loop with my life, and that he could experience everything I was experiencing like precariously through me, like by me telling him. So that really worked for us. We also saw each other as much as we wanted to. Now, we had originally said that we were going to do 2 weeks he comes up, 2 weeks I go down, but it ended up, if I missed him, I was going home. If he missed me, he was coming up. And we were really lucky that we had the flexibility to do that. So we ended up seeing each other maybe every week, which is more than some people do, even if they're not in a long distance relationship. But the one piece of advice I would give you if you're thinking about going into a long distance relationship is it worth it? Make sure it is worth it. Me and Christian had the conversation quite early on in our relationship. We'd been going out for like 5 months, I think. And it was like another 5 months before I went to uni. So we had the conversation whether we thought it was worth it, whether we wanted to be together in the long run, which is a mad conversation to have like 5 months in. But it's needed because you're going to give up a lot of experiences to be in that relationship at uni. Obviously, there's a lot of new boys or girls at university, and there's a lot of parties and like new experiences. And you're going to have to be a bit more like restrained, obviously, as you would like in any relationship. So making time for the other person, you have to like give up a bit of like extra time you might have wanted to go out or something. So yeah, just make sure that it's worth it. So I think you should definitely have that conversation to see whether you're both on the same page, whether you want this to work, and if you do want it to work, make it work. Me and Christian are very lucky that we're on the same page, we want the same things, and we'll go to the moon and back to make it work for us. Obviously every relationship is different and everyone functions differently, and maybe seeing your boyfriend every week whilst you're at university seems mental, and you don't want that because you do want your independence. But just have that conversation, make sure you are expecting the same things, and that one of you isn't thinking that they're going to be coming up every other day and the other one thinks I'll see you maybe once a month, you know? I hope that hasn't gone like too deep or too rambly, but yeah. So that is all of the questions. Thank you so much for watching. I hope it has given you a little bit more insight to my university experience, and I hope you've learned something from it. And give this video a thumbs up if you did like it, and subscribe if you're new, because that would be great. And I will see you very soon.